Hello, my name is Michael Shelton. My technical advisor is Dr. Jose Macedo, and my senior project is the transition to mass customization. Today's PowerPoint will start with the problem statement, then continue on to definitions and background, then into solution, both the methodology and tools and techniques that are needed for mass customization. Then we will follow that up with briefly cost evaluation, and lastly conclusion. The problem statement reads, to date, goods and services have been for the most part mass-produced. However, as technology has improved, we have seen a shift from mass production to customized production. With the outsourcing of much of the manufacturing, the US has become very service-heavy, and therefore customer satisfaction is upon the forefront of many business goals. To ensure customer satisfaction, manufacturing is headed towards its next transformation of mass customization. With this transition, companies will need a new business strategy, new tools and resources, and a new manufacturing plan. Briefly going over the definitions, mass production is simply manufacturing goods to a standardized pattern on a large scale. And this is favored by efficiency, which is really focused on providing quality products at a minimal cost. Adversely, mass customization is meeting the needs of a segmented customer market, with each segment being a single individual. And this is favored heavily by effectiveness, which is more interested in providing the right product and service to the right customer at the appropriate time. Looking into the background, specifically looking at the late 1800s to the late 1900s, manufacturing started becoming big, and as technology improved, especially focused in automation, so did manufacturing, and manufacturing began leading into mass production. Now, as you can see by the statistic below, 83.6% of all U.S. employment is in services, so our economy is heavily focused on services. And after the success of automation in manufacturing, a lot of that automation has migrated into services, such as software and HR management. Moving on to the future, we'll see that services is an important part of mass customization, and in many aspects, we've already started seeing mass customization begin before our eyes. So looking at some of the solutions, the first approach that's very important is made to order. So made to order is important because specifically looking at the customer order penetration point, it's in the manufacturing part of supply chain. With that, we have much more flexibility in our demand. So the assembler, the retailer, and the customer, all that can be arranged appropriately to make sure that customers' needs are being supported, and they're being supported at an early level. Another thing that's important is there might be an opportunity to eliminate the need for the assembler and the retailer. If the customer is able to place their order with the manufacturer, and we can push that through the system quicker, the assembler there will be an opportunity for the assembler and the retailer to no longer be necessary, and this could save with labor costs as well as timing. Another methodology focuses on creating a product family architecture, and the first step in this is identifying optimal building blocks. This is very apparent looking at the illustration below. So if customer orders are coming in independently, it's going to be very hard to retrieve them, very hard to manufacture them on an independent basis. However, if we have a lot of these orders coming in and we're able to categorize them into different product structures, then it's going to be a lot easier to retrieve, a lot easier to focus on, and we can make sure the process is a little bit more repeatable. This will save with costs both in runtime, setup, and making sure that the customer's needs are being met. Another option is to eliminate and reduce multiple multi-level product structures within a bill of materials. And if we're able to do that, that'll just reduce the lead times and be able to make sure that we're getting the customer's products out to them quicker. If we're unable to do that, then it's really important to find components within the product structure that are comparable. and they've been used for different end products. If this is the case, then we won't have as much inventory, and that'll be another cost saver. Another way to push throughput in quicker is to phantomize components within an end product. And all this will really do is make sure the customer is getting their end product at an earlier time. And also will reduce with inventory. The last opportunity would be to implement delayed product differentiation. And this can be seen easily with a clothing line. If there's a product that's, if there's a t-shirt that's very similar, but the main distinction is people want to customize the color, then if we can push the t-shirt through the manufacturing line very similarly, and then save that customization for the very end, then this will be an important part of both time savings and cost savings. And it'll also go back to repeatability of manufacturing. So tools and techniques are very dependent on the industry that mass customization would be focused on. However, these following techniques and tools can kind of be spread throughout any industry. Starting with rapid prototyping is a very good opportunity using 3D CAD for the customer to actually see what they're creating and what their end product will be. Another opportunity, if they don't have a physical model or don't have the opportunity for a physical model, is using software to create a virtual model online. So that way when the customer is putting together their features that they want, they can actually see what it'll look like. Cloud computing is also important to make sure that everything's happening in real time. Then moving on to kind of a new revelation is smart sensing. And this can be easily seen if you go into a store to get your suit tailored. Rather than waiting in line for someone to tailor you, you can walk up to these smart sensing machines and get your dimensions taken. That can be sent straight to the manufacturer, and your suit will be begin getting tailored and fitted instantly. Looking more on traditional manufacturing, there's the flexible manufacturing system, and Haas has actually implemented this and is using this right now. And this requires different work machines, specifically CNC machines, also material handling, as well as a central computer control. Also, throughout any industry, there's going to need to be various softwares needed, and the main reason would be to match up different results with the desired inputs that customers are putting through. So if they're putting through, they want a red t-shirt with short sleeves, then the software will make sure it's matching it up with the appropriate solutions. The great thing about software is that it doesn't depreciate. So this is a great opportunity moving forward with mass customization. Instead, where if we're doing manufacturing, there's going to be a huge investment with different machines and whatnot, and then plus there's a depreciation on top of that. So talking about costs, a great segue is the cost evaluation. Obviously, we've seen in the past with mass production, as the volume gets high, the cost goes down, and customers are still willing to pay a higher price than what it costs the manufacturer. However, it gets interesting looking at the low volume. As you can see though, as the customization goes up, customers are actually willing to pay more because they're getting exactly what they want from the manufacturer. And looking at the cost, the mass customization cost curve, you can still see that that's actually below the price of what customers are willing to pay. So this graph proves that there is a space in the market for mass customization. So in conclusion, we found that mass customization does have a market. In my opinion, the market would be a served goods market. So it's mainly focused on service. However, this service is providing some sort of good to the customer. And we talked about how the best part about this is if it's a service, a lot of it's going to be using software, and you get the most bang for your buck, if you will, out of the software rather than machines. Labor costs can be saved using the made-to-order approach. So another great solution when it comes to mass customization. We went through various tools that would be needed in mass customization, and there are much more than what we talked about. but in general, looking at all industries, there's going to be that list that we discussed that you're going to have to use to make sure that mass customization is achieved. And finally, we found that there is a marketplace for mass customization, and it is justified depending on the industry. So thank you very much for listening to the presentation, and I encourage you to write down any questions that you have. Thank you.